How is everyone doing today? It is August 30th of 2022. Really excited to show everyone this tomato right here. This is the Cherokee green tomato. We had this our first time probably about 5 years ago. Our little tiny local farm market used to have a tomato vendor that grew some really unique stuff, and we got our first from them. And these are actually from the seeds from that original grow. We've grown it a couple times in our yard, I think once to a level that we could kind of show it in a video, and the other time it didn't quite. But there's a lot of really unique things to say about this tomato. Mine, hopefully this one doesn't disappoint me, because it is my very favorite green tomato. I'm not sure about Angel, but the couple times that we have had it, it has been really just an excellent flavor to it. This one right here it looks like it's overripe. I think a lot of that has to do with we've had a really bad August. So what's been going on is a lot of the plants are getting stressed. So this one was green until probably a few days ago, started getting a little bit of yellow on it. But over the last few days, it's just brightened up really quick. So it might be overripe, but I'm pretty sure it's at the ripe degree. I just think that it also might be a little bit under or right on, just because of the fact that it's been stress ripened rather than just kind of naturally, production ripened. But this is the Cherokee green tomato. There's one also called the Cherokee Chocolate. The Cherokee Chocolate and the Cherokee Green are supposed to, or most probably, come from mutations from Cherokee Purple. So it's a Cherokee Purple that had a unique mutation in it, rather than it being a cross between a Cherokee Purple and something else. The same thing with the one known as the Cherokee Chocolate. This plant, a couple times, has been putting in bad spots in our yard, and both times has done really well. It's an indeterminate. It wouldn't be necessarily considered an heirloom. It's a mutation off of an heirloom though. So it's been around for a minute. I'll have to check some more of the stuff online so I can tell you more about it. When they start to yellow up is when they become ripe. I'm not sure if this one's overripe or stress ripe, but we'll go ahead and take it off. That came off really easy, so I'm thinking it's good. It's technically considered a green tomato, even though when it ripens, it kind of gets like this yellowish orange color. It looks almost sickly green kind of coloration. But just like the Cherokee Purple, it should have a similar amount of meat and a really good smoky-ish flavor. And I'm hoping this one doesn't disappoint. Really excited that we got this grow out in the yard this year. We never know what's going to make it in our yard. We just plant a huge amount of varieties that we can find and then give it a shot. So the Cherokee green tomato, take this inside and have a better look. Love you guys. All right, so that looked a lot brighter outside because of the sunlight on it. Just for a little bit of context, this has been on our counter for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it is also a Cherokee green, so that's kind of more what you're expecting. It's considered a green tomato even though it ripens yellow, because the inside should mostly be green as well, if not all green. But one of the things I like, and most people seem to like, especially if you like fried green tomatoes, is with the Cherokee Purple, there's almost a smoky flavor to it. So when you have a Cherokee Purple tomato, there's almost a smoky flavor. And when it's green, it also has a, when it's underripe green, it retains more of a chemical. I believe it's called lycopene. But that chemical in a green tomato makes it so that it lacks that chemical in the tomato that it gains more of in the ripening process, and by it gaining the lycopene, it removes some of the smoky flavor in a underdone tomato. So the Cherokee Purple ripe already having a smoky flavor, then you have it underdone, which is green, which already lends a little bit of more smoky flavor because it hasn't gotten the lycopene yet. Ripening makes it so it's almost like double smoky, and I think that's why people, when they refer to fried green tomatoes, most often I've heard them enjoy the Cherokee Purple while they're still underripe. And that way, this one right here is a true to type green Cherokee Purple. So I would say this is only double green still, but I think you could triple green it if you were to try these off. And that's one of the seasons when I was saying earlier that we had a bad season with these. We got a horde of green ones and fried them up green, and they really taste like the best fried green tomatoes. They tasted almost like avocado hearts.
Yeah, they were really good.
To me. But really good meat in this. This knife isn't sharp enough, so I'm not going to try to mess around cutting a slice too much. We're going to try to save seeds on this. It does look like it's plenty ripe. even though it did speed ripen. But if I taste it and it still tastes sour or under, I'm gonna let you know real quick. Yeah, it's so good. I really, really love the flavor of this tomato.
Okay.
This one doesn't really have a lot of smokiness to it, but it has like a smooth, buttery flavor.
Mm.
That's really good, huh?
That is really good. I like
And
that. And it does have a little bit of a sour pucker to it, but not bad. That's a really good tomato. BLTs.
BLTs would be really good with it. And I know some people like salt in their tomatoes. What do you think about that one?
Oh yeah, I think salt would be good on it. If you just like to sprinkle salt on it and eat it that way, I know some people who like to do that. That would be good. BLTs, it's got so much meat in there. It is a really good tomato, and it's a slicer, that's for sure.
We're probably not going to have that many seeds from that giant tomato.
We'll have enough to go on till next year. So, yeah, excellent tomato. If you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend growing it. They do grow, typically this is the size. We are in container garden, so they could get bigger, but this is pretty good size for a container garden. Really yummy tomato.
In my brain too, I've started to compare like green tomatoes, like the Wagner blue green and some of the others that we tried. We never tried the Aunt Ruby's yet, but I hear a lot of good things about that one. But with green tomatoes, I always get like a flavor. It's almost like a green apple flavor. With this one though, there's a certain sweetness to it. I'd say it's almost like a yellow apple. It still has the kind of like
a little bit of that sour tartness to it.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It's not overwhelmingly sour.
So is this your favorite green tomato?
Yeah, I'd have to say yes.
And I think this one just hit a stressful event. I want everybody to remember all of our grows are not optimal. We grow in containers, we cluster garden, we just want to grow so many things. We don't ever really make plans. We just kind of wing it as we go along. And so almost everything that you see grown in our yard and every example we're showing is just a small window into one personal experience. It's not representative of anybody else's grows or whatever else. I could almost guarantee that if somebody was to put it in the same conditions and less crowd it, they could grow this plant better. Or if they were to have it in the ground, for example, they could grow this plant better. Or if they were to have managed it better, they could grow this plant better. So this is an excellent example of a power plant tomato. Look at that. Here, hold this for a second. I want to cut this up a little bit just to... This would be a really, really good one to chunk in salsa. It's mostly like whitish green on this part of it right here.
It's good though. Really good. I like it.
So we're going to go ahead and pull the seeds out of this one, and I'll take you outside for one last look, and we'll get you in a second. Love you guys. All right, so really proud to have grown this plant. We got 2 plants right here, indeterminates. Big tomato there, big tomato there, another one starting, big one there. I can't really see up in it. This is a really, really excellent tomato. It's the Cherokee green tomato. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a mutation off the Cherokee purple and holds its own. It has a little bit of a different, unique flavor to the Cherokee purple, but it's super, super sweet. It does have a little bit of pucker, but more like a yellow apple than it would be like a green apple kind of flavor to it, but a really excellent green type of tomato. We're going to save seeds off of any of these larger ones we get going, so we want to have lots of this in the yard. Being that it's a mutation, the very first thing that you would do in that scenario is make sure it's not a cross. So when they growed that mutation out, it came out true to type as the second grow as well, and then they continue to grow it a couple seasons, realizing that yes, this is a established seed and from an heirloom type, so I don't even know if you'd consider it an heirloom because it comes from the Cherokee Purple. But it's been out since, I want to say 1995, but I would always research the stuff that I say on it. It is so good. It has a buttery, smooth flavor to it. It's not super high in acids, but it is really rich. And I would say it's higher than acids than a couple of the other ones we tried recently. Um, Equivalent to maybe the black pineapple, which is a video that we did recently. But really excited to grow the Cherokee green tomato. Strong indeterminate plants. Can't say enough about it. Love you guys. August 30th of 2022. Thanks for watching. Just a quick clip for the end of this video. I know a lot of people are big fans of putting salt on their tomatoes. I've known 4 or 5 comments recently on people that love them that way. I'm not necessarily not a fan of it, but I'm also not a fan of it. It's something that I'm all right with and I completely enjoy sometimes, but mostly the tomatoes end up being sandwiches, salsas, different kinds of dishes like that, or just eaten fresh. So I like the taste of them fresh better than I do with salt on them. But if I were to put salt on them, some of our friends at Mary Marva's had specially made this for us, and it's jalapeno-infused sea salt. And even though it's got jalapenos in it, the infusion put them in a state of not being hot. So marymarvas.com, they make herbs and stuff like that. They're locals in our area. We're good friends with those guys. So not necessarily trying to plug them, just also showing my favorite kind of salt, if I'm to put it on there, is the jalapeno-infused sea salt. That is so good. Oh man, I'm a fan of salt on my tomatoes now. That salt, sea salt with the infusion, they have a special method that they use to infuse the salt. You don't get any of the heat from the jalapeno in it. That is dang good. That is too good. Should I finish this piece?
Go for it.
Just thought I'd show you guys that real quick and you guys might have changed my mind. Love you guys. Catch you next time.